We have a nice little no crank, no start on a 2010 Subaru Legacy. Figured it'd be a perfect time to kick off my little tool talk I've been wanting to do with the channel. Spur of the moment. Test lights. Everybody think with modern cars, because you can accidentally fry computers with these things, they have no business with modern cars. But in this circumstance, we can still use one. So now I have it connected to the negative terminal on the battery. Just going to the positive terminal. Got a nice bright light coming around you. Now, usually these terminals on top here get pretty corroded. I cleaned them off and I got a nice bright light. Now, once we go back to the terminal on the back of the starter, which connects the battery to the starter, once again, got a nice, beautiful light. So this is telling us we have battery positive potential at our starter solenoid. Now here is where I find it funny, because I don't know how many people, probably about 6, said, oh no, starter's bad in this car. Well, everybody thinks component, never bothers to diagnose anything. So we go now positive side on that battery. Got a nice bright light. Now let's see what happens when we go to the engine block ground, which is literally on our starter. See how dim that light is in comparison to before? Now let's say we had a digital volt ohm meter and we did this. We would see that we have 12 volts battery potential for the positive and 12 volts battery potential for the negative, switching between positive post and negative post. But when you actually put a load on the circuit, you actually see that even though, yeah, you got a nice thick wire, it's corroded to the point where there's so much resistance that when you actually put an actual load, you get a voltage drop. That's what we're seeing here. So now I'm going to replace this cable, and hopefully when we come back next, this car will be running. So I got the owner out here with me. He finally got out of work. So I'm partial to these nice little brass battery terminals. I just don't like the lead zinc ones. They just oxidize too much. So yeah, new battery terminal. Let it rip, Tater Chip!
Yeah, look at that!
Now you owe me lunch and $35.
Fair enough.